What up, guys? Batpimp here. We're going to talk about the Dawn of War 3 Eldar reveal. Let's break it down. All right. I'm going to show you some highlights of what I thought was interesting in the video, and at the end, we'll wrap it up. Let's do this. All right. What I want us to consider here and not forget is that this is a single player game, and it was done by Jeff in Control Robinson and Philip Bull, the game director. All thoughts are my own. So here we go. The Eldar reveal, and this is the sixth mission. It's the second time you get to play Eldar, and here they are with Maka leading the way. The first couple things I want to notice is the animations are looking okay. They're not looking fantastic. A lot of the idle animations is kind of scary. I'm not sure if the units are going to have any character other than just standing around and looking cool. They don't seem to interact or have any sayings or uh, things like that. Things that immerse yourself in that character and the unit that you're controlling. So a lot of the movement seems good. It's fluid, obviously. And the best part of this is we're getting to see finally some of the way that the Eldar move when they aren't gimped in a single player uh, version that they had at PAX debuff version. Now we have like the full version. You get to see it on their side, and we can see that more of the grim and dark is starting to finally appear in the environment, and so that's always good, always appreciated. So I know that previously we saw the video with the ice planet, and a lot of people were already decided that the game was looking too colorful, too cartoony, and at the time, and I still think this is just too early to say, especially if we get our hands on it as modders, we get to change the landscapes, lava, fire, buildings, urban, the whole thing. So here we go. The next cool part right here is where we finally get to see that the Eldar get to teleport in their buildings, and not only that, but they also get to move them around the map. So it's not just a matter of calling them in; they actually can be teleported along or around the map, in which you can use them to set up hit and run tactics, which in this game the Eldar are going to be famous for. All right, at the beginning of this clip, we see some Rangers doing their scouting. They're tier one, and we're about to see them jump into a form of cover. Now, it's explained in the video, this cover is visibility based only. It doesn't actually give you like any mechanical changes to accuracy or how much damage you absorb or anything like that. And we can see that the Rangers jump in the grass, and as soon as they jump out, they lose that visibility from leaving the grass. So they gain it and leave it as you enter the grass. Your line of sight increases depending on the height and things like that, but it's just visibility based. And here we go. We can see them jumping into more grass, and they can't see anything until they walk in, and then boom, they gain their maximum sight range again. All right, in this clip, I want us to focus on the health bar of the Eldar units. If you look around Maka right there in the middle, her pink bar is half gone. That pink bar represents shields in this game. And in this game, instead of calling them shield, they call them battle focus, which is a lore friendly understanding of the Eldar. This is going to be the way that the Eldar can actually pursue and accomplish their hit and run tactics. So this bar does not fill on its own. It needs to be replenished, and you do that by going to a webway gate. In this way, the Eldar can go in, do their damage, leave, go back to their base, and don't forget what I said earlier. Their bases now are mobile, so you can literally park outside of a contested point or maybe even enemy base in multiplayer. And there's the ring right there that shows you where you can get the health back. And at the top, there's a webway portal, and that's where you get your pink health bar back, the battle focus. So in this way, you can go in, do your damage, leave, go in, do your damage, leave. This way, you don't want to spend your time uh, in fighting a game of attrition. All right, in a moment, we're going to reveal Jane Sar, and she's a elite or hero you can call in. Here's how you call her in. You get some elite points, the number 4 in her portrait. It's something you earn over time, and boom, she teleports in. She's a quick-footed melee unit, and she has a couple abilities. We'll see one here in a moment. One of her cool ones is where she throws her Triskele in a direction, dealing damage to all enemies in its path. It returns like a boomerang, and this move is called Silent Death. It's an important move for her to clear waves and or attack units in a line. It could also be used as an escape mechanism as you can use it while on the move. Her second more important move is called dash. Janezar will dash to a target position. If any enemies are in her path, she will leap over them and do damage in an area. So in this way, she can go in, do damage, and leave, and still retain her battle focus. As you can see, none of their units are regenerating the pink because they're not near a webway yet. All right, the next unit we're about to see is the Wraith Lord. The Wraith Lord's attributes are powerful melee, strong against infantry and vehicles, and they have high health. And as you can see, she's going to call him in, and he's going to teleport on the spot. Takes about 3 to 5 seconds, looks like. He also has some abilities, fleet of foot. He has critical strike on every fifth attack. And we'll see in a moment his glaive charge. The glaive charge is the Wraith Lord charges forward, knocking away enemies in its path. At the end of his charge, the Wraith Lord deals damage and knocks away all enemies in a sweeping arc. All right, here's the beginning of a bigger fight. And what we got is Jane Zard trying to lead the charge. And as you can see, her pink health bar, her battle focus is just being deleted by the enemy force. So she's not one to take on big armies. But here we go. We've got the Wraith Lord, and there's his attack, glaive charge. As you can see, it's a quick charge and an AoE arc forward slash, and it knocks enemies back and does damage. And Janezar is just flying down in the house. So you can see that the Wraith Lord is not tanking it yet, but Janezar, that was not her cup of tea. That was not where she needed to be. But the Wraith Lord is doing his job now. All right, a little further into video, we can see that the Eldar have destroyed that entrenched position, and here we go, an example of them moving their entire base except for the main building. They can move all the other buildings up forward into a forward position, and it only takes a few seconds for them to come in, but I do understand that this is going to be a cooldown, so you won't be able to just teleport anywhere at any time. There's going to be a cooldown from when you begin it and when you can use it again. But in this way, the Eldar can move their buildings up, they can reinforce, and more importantly, they can get the battle focus regeneration from the webway portals. And as you can see, you can set up turrets, you can have your army nearby it, and in this way, it'll promote the hit and run tactics. So here we are, the end of the video, and you're probably asking yourself, what do I think of all that? Well, a couple of things I want to bring up. Um, First, I want to get into the massive armies. Is it good or bad? I honestly don't have a preference if it's large or small. I love Dawn of War 2 because of the micro you had to have and the strategical thinking of when to make a unit, of the checks and balances, especially with the elite mod. You don't just necessarily pick what do you call it, like an ability or a unit or an upgrade just for the sake of getting it. You usually have a good reason. And now that all the units are not going to be that way, I'm talking about the heroes. It looks like they're just going to have core abilities, and so are units themselves. And so massive armies come into play in that sense because you're going to have a more field of greater variety of units. But I don't know if more of them is better than just a few focused ones. So my fear from playing the demo myself at PAX is that there's going to be too much. If you watch the video on your own, and I encourage you to do so, you'll see that the unit cap is at 250. I'm not sure if that's going to be for multiplayer, but I can tell you just holding on to 10 squads does not even fill up like 100 of the unit population, and it's getting kind of unreal to manage all that. In another sense, you also get to use less abilities because you have so much more to micro. It's more about your heroes and what abilities they have. What's scary is the dilution, like, how the units are being diluted in importance. And so unit preservation starts becoming an issue. Like, do I really care if I lose some Dire Avengers or if I use that? If they don't level up, if they come already with the upgrades that they need, for example, I wouldn't have to upgrade like in a Dawn of War. You have to upgrade the grenades and stealth, and shotguns, the sniper rifles. Like it doesn't. It seems like the units are coming out with their core abilities and or weapons. Maybe is a way to say it. So the unit preservation is lost on me. I when I played it, and when I'm seeing it right now, it seems like you can just dump endless units into one big massive fight, and it starts becoming more cinematic than it is about microing the units. Obviously, we're not seeing pros play here. It is single player, but I have a great fear that unit preservation is just going to be gone until something changes. And lastly, the animations. I think they were fine when the Eldar were in motion, but when they were idle, they seemed kind of boring. There's no more dynamic cover. There's a lot of things missing. There's no morale, no more treat, no suppression, no cover system. Sync kills are gone, no XP on heroes or units that I saw, and more importantly, like the character of the units isn't there anymore. I wonder what they're gonna say when they stand still, when a fight starts, how they're gonna move, or will they just be like kind of like drones, like robotic? This was a good point brought up by another YouTuber called Ark Warhammer, which I just started watching in like the last few months. But he made a good observation that it just doesn't seem like they're alive. It just seems like they're robotic. They just do what they're told, and they don't, argue or anything like that. There's no character to them. So for me, I lose a little immersion. But as far as like their moving animations, it's great when they're moving, and they do look like Eldar when they're moving. But since a lot of the fighting is going to be stand there and just pummel the other team back and forth, the Eldar stop having like cool animations and melee. They just kind of stand still and fire like an endless stream of bullets with some reloading and everything. But I don't know, it doesn't feel as immersive to me as when I was playing Dawn of War 2. Of course, it's single player. It's probably not even a beta. It's probably like an alpha. Who knows if everything changed? But these are growing fears for me going forward. That am I gonna care that like an Eldar dies, a Scout dies, a Dire Avenger dies, if I can just replace them within seconds? They never level up. They don't have sergeants or heroes or anything attached to them. So kind of scary, but we'll see how it goes. Orcs, yeah, next week, and a little proof for you. So here's my proof for Orcs next week. This was posted, I think, on the 8th, if I remember correctly. Sorry, my memory's gone. Those timestamps are correct, but here we go. Dawn of War. Orcs are next week. This is our one and only proof that I've seen so far. So I'm sure they're going to be more forthcoming here in the future. But yes, boys and girls, it is time for some orcs. Hell yeah.